Over 7 months have now passed since 7 October. The horrific terror attacks perpetrated by Hamas and other Palestinian armed groups and the ensuing Israeli military campaign and relentless hostilities in Gaza have caused widespread suffering and at a scale totally unimaginable. There are reports that more than 36,000 Palestinians and over 1,500 Israelis and foreigners are killed, and still 125 hostages are held in Gaza, and tens of thousands of people injured, the vast majority Palestinians. Nearly 2 million Palestinians have been displaced from their homes in the Gaza Strip, many of them multiple times, and some 100,000 Israelis have been displaced from communities in Israel's north and south. Agreement on a deal to achieve a ceasefire and secure the release of hostages is blocked, and as Israel rolls out significant ground operations in and around Rafah, the devastation is only intensifying.
The Palestinians affected by the May 26 airstrikes had been displaced multiple times, heeding Israeli evacuation orders and seeking shelter in the camps impacted by this weekend's Israeli airstrikes. Israel said the civilian deaths were a mistake, potentially caused by secondary explosions, and that the strike was aimed at 2 senior Hamas terrorists who also died. We have urged Israel to do more to protect innocent Palestinian lives and to undertake a swift, transparent, and comprehensive investigation. As we have said before, Israel has a right to defend itself against Hamas, but Israel also has obligations to protect civilians. The fact that Hamas's leaders and fighters hide among civilians does not lessen the requirement for Israel to conduct its operations in accordance with international humanitarian law. Israel must do more to protect innocent Palestinians in Gaza. We also have emphasized that Israel must connect its military operations to a political strategy that can ensure the lasting defeat of Hamas, the release of all the hostages, and a better future for the Palestinian people. The continued pattern of significant civilian harm resulting from incidents like Sunday's airstrikes undermines Israel's strategic goals in Gaza. Many of you have raised last week's order by the ICJ, which we note echoes the U.S. position that Israel must avoid a major military operation in the heart of Rafah that would put huge numbers of civilians at risk. We continue to believe there are alternatives to a major operation that would better advance Israel's goal of the enduring defeat of Hamas and also protect innocent Palestinians. Israel said the civilian deaths were a mistake, potentially caused by secondary explosions. We remain concerned that too little aid is flowing into Gaza and reaching those in need. In this regard, we welcome Egypt's decision to allow the shipment of aid through Kerem Shalom and call on Israel to remove all barriers to the flow of aid at scale through all crossings and routes. More must be done to ensure more aid is getting into Gaza through all routes and is able to be safely distributed to those in need throughout Gaza. The closure of the Rafah border crossing has impacted the humanitarian and security situation.
Israel can kill any Palestinian and call them either terrorists or human shields to justify their murder. It uses both terms extremely loosely, so they can cover anyone and everyone. Israel has called any form of opposition to its occupation and its oppression of the Palestinian people terrorism. But the difference is that Israel does not decide whether you live or die.
Israel has been very clear from the outset. This war can end today without one more shot being fired. All that is required is for Hamas to release the hostages and put down their arms. These are our conditions, and we're not asking for anything more. But the reality is that Hamas refuses these terms. Hamas chooses to hold innocents hostage. Hamas chooses to continue firing rockets. Hamas chooses to exploit the civilians of Gaza as human shields. The terrorists chose to terrorize, and as a result, they must be held fully accountable.
В свою очередь, мы также осуждаем авиаудар по лагерю ВПЛ в Рафахе и призываем Западный Иерусалим положить конец этим военным преступлениям в отношении палестинского народа. Требуем от Израиля неукоснительного соблюдения положений международного гуманитарного права. Недопустимо нападение на персонал ООН и гуманитарщиков, работающих на земле. Поддерживаем соответствующий призыв Антонио Гутерреша к незамедлительному прекращению огня, обеспечению беспрепятственного гуманитарного доступа и безоговорочному освобождению всех заложников, чтобы положить конец страданиям гражданского населения анклава.